The Paul George era in Los Angeles is officially over after 5 years, 3 playoff series victories, 1 conference finals appearance, and countless injuries. All this after trading Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and control of 7 first-round draft picks to secure his and Kawhi Leonard's services back in 2019. But while PG is an easy target for criticism, and there are risks associated with maxing out a 34-year-old, the Clippers were insane to let the 9-time All-Star just walk away in free agency. This debacle is about so much more than whether George is worth a max contract that will pay him roughly $57 million in his age 37 season. We can disagree on that, but the fact of the matter is PG's still an elite two-way wing coming off an all-star campaign in which he became just the 9th player ever to average 22 plus points while shooting 50% or better inside the arc, 40% from deep, and 90% from the free throw line.
He's slowing down, but he's still got it.
Even with his injury history and some of his postseason hiccups, he was always going to command a max or near max on the open market. The Clippers decided they wanted to play hardball, but for a team in their position, what they were really doing was playing with fire. They expected George to take the same hometown discount Leonard took on his 3-year extension, and reportedly didn't believe PG would really leave. But coming off his healthiest season in 5 years and looking for the last big payday of his career, the Clippers should have expected that George would take the biggest offer he could get. LA's miscalculation makes even less sense when you consider that with or without George, the Clippers would have been capped out. So it's not like they had any illusions of upgrading their aging star. They also don't control their own first rounder until 2030. So there's nothing to gain from blowing the whole thing up and starting from the bottom. With Leonard locked up, a high-profile move to a new multi-billion-dollar arena on the horizon, no young talent to build with, and no potential benefit to reap from losing, the Clippers' only option was supposed to be trying their damnedest to win the franchise's first championship. Even the luxury tax dollars the Clippers will save from losing George mean less to them than any other team, with Steve Ballmer's $130 billion net worth making him the richest owner in all of pro sports. Now, you've probably heard the Clippers wanted to avoid the significant roster construction limitations that come with being a second apron team. But this is where their decision-making gets really confusing. The 3-year Kawhi-like contract they reportedly offered George would have made them a second apron team anyway. So at the end of the day, the straw that broke the camel's back for a team that's supposed to be the definition of all-in was simply a 4th year in 2027-28.
How does that even make sense?
With George out of the picture and James Harden re-signed, the Clippers had access to the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, the biannual exception, and minimum contracts to offer, which they've used on Derrick Jones Jr., Nick Batum, Chris Dunn, and Mo Bamba, among others. Those are solid additions, but a team whose only option is winning is betting they have a better chance to do so with role players than with Paul freaking George?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Look, I get that banking on 2 injury-prone superstars and James Harden was far from the safest championship formula. But in the event things ever broke right for the Clippers, who went on a 26-5 tear shortly after acquiring Harden last season, at least there was a path to a title. Banking on the more injury-prone of the 2 superstars, a 34-year-old Harden, and more depth does not come with a championship ceiling. The Clippers willingly took a step back, despite being one of the teams that can least afford to do so, then watched George sign with the team that controls their 2028 and 2029 picks.
It's gonna get worse than this.
If this was their unambitious, defeated way of thinking, the Clippers should have just traded one of George or Leonard for more depth earlier. At least in that case, they might have recouped some draft capital, a la the Nets once they aborted their super team plans. Instead, here lie the Clippers. They'll be decent for the next season or 2, but without the upside of being great. And they'll try to be free agent players again within a couple years. They better hope the superstars they target next haven't been paying attention.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.